Alright, welcome back to the SL Industry YouTube channel. This is, I believe, the third part in our series of Appalachian combat. And today we're going to be talking about the combat rifle. This is the bread and butter. People love to focus on the combat rifle and or shotgun, even if they're going that route. But I'm going to be talking about what I have right now, what I want to do in the future. So stay tuned and stay with us for that. I apologize in advance if the furnace kicks on. Nothing I can do about it. It's just that time of year. I also apologize we haven't had a video in a little longer time frame. That's on me. Life's been busy. You probably know how it is. Alright, so getting into it. Let's see. Alright. So my current setup. Alright. This is my current rifle that I use for training and stuff like that. See, there's a lot going on here. I'm not positive about everything on here. I'm trying out some things. But the basic is it's a Mossberg 715T flat top, so there's no handguard. It is a 22 caliber, modeled after, there's the furnace, modeled after an AR-15 style. It does have a collapsible stock, which the rubber band makes a little finicky, but collapsible stock, alright. I have just a sling that works. So just a 2-point sling. Sling it around. And there it is. It's ready to go. Alright. The gun is clear and safe. I'll show you, magazine is empty. That's the stopper. And I'll show you. Alright, chamber's clear. But the magazine, they're a little funky looking. It's a 25 round. I used to have more. I've lost them since. Magazines are notorious for losing them. So I'm down to 4, which gives me 100 rounds. Which is a full box of ammo for what I use, which is a CCI subsonic. It runs to this gun a little better. And so I have 100 rounds and magazines that would be ready to go. And two are on my chest rig here. Alright, so you can see them there. Keep 2 on here. These ones are painted. The other ones are not yet. And they are also marked. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but it says the I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says 22 long rifle and 715T because that's what model it goes to. I just keep 2 on there because they're a little bigger and that's what I can hold. It's not preferable. This is not my dream setup, but it's what I have for now until I can get a better system. I do have a just a cheap, like $40 Simmons red dot, and it has like 11 different power settings, plus 0 obviously, so 12. And I really only ever use the 2. 1 for indoor, and I flip it the other way, and it's 11 for outdoor sunny days. I have 45-degree side irons on here. So I'm going to flash the camera, but I don't know if you can see the side irons there. One in front and rear. That way my red dot goes down, it breaks, or battery, whatever. I flip, they're already sighted in. I have a light. It is actually mounted on here with a scope ring mount. It's just keeping it on there. It's just one of those sliding adjustable cheap Amazon. But it's worked for me so far. I'm trying out a bipod. I'm not sold on it quite yet. It's neat, but it's heavy. It adds weight to the forward, and I might even just take it off right now because no, I'm just not a crazy big fan. Let's see. That's right. Gotta undo this fully to then be able to Now, I said it's quick detach, but quick is not how I would describe it. There it is. So bipod's off. Now we just have the bipod mount. You'll see I have an angled foregrip on here. This is an angled foregrip. It's a mag pull. And then covering it, I know you can see the rubber bands, but I also have a bunch of green twine all along it that adds a little camouflage, maybe a little pattern disbursement. Also, I can shove stuff in their vegetation if I was to need to go. That would be if I had to go to some sort of covert, which with 22 I don't really think I will, but you never know. So there's positives and negatives to it. A positive is it's 22 long rifle, so I can carry a ton of ammunition. It's fairly lightweight for what it is. And they come in boxes. What I buy CCI, subsonic, plastic box ready to go, put it in wherever I need it. Downside is it doesn't have a lot of punching power or distance capability. Reliable, that is. Which goes into my, I guess, like future like dream gun or dream setup, what I'm working on getting towards. It'll be a 16-inch AR-556. It's a standard length. It's not a pistol length. So as of now, it doesn't have to be registered through the NFA. 556, so I can run 556 or 223. In LPVO, because where I operate, there's a lot of distances, but it also allows for that shorter reach. I would have also Magpul backup irons along the top that I could run through the LPVO. An angled foregrip, because I do love that. I would use paint and burlap and twine to add camouflage and concealment. I would use 30 round mags, because I don't need 60 round mags and I don't need 20 round mags, because I'm not an automatic rifleman. I'm also not going to be a designated marksman. So 30 round mag, basic. I'd have probably 8 or 9 loaded mags on my kit ready to go. Another couple extra in the backpack, plus stripper clips with ammunition in bags ready to go. And I would have a suppressor, probably with some kind of covering to eliminate some of the heat mirage effect. That is my dream AR setup. Let me know down below what you would do and what recommendations or drawbacks you think my setup has. Some alternate options I've thought about is the auto AR, and this could be 5.56, but a lot of guys do 308, so that's like an AR-10. With this one, you're going to want a red dot with some kind of magnifier. A lot of people use EOTechs. That's a pretty solid. It's true and sturdy based, time tested, field proven. You want a bipod or a tripod for stability. So when you're doing all your long range and you're lopping over fire and stuff like that, you're going to want a full auto rated suppressor. This is big because if you have a non-full auto rated suppressor, it's going to melt down and explode on you, and that is the opposite of what you want. You're going to want a spare barrel is optional, and usually that would be covered by your second guy. So an automatic rifleman or machine gunner, you would have the machine gunner, and then you'd have the machine gunner's assistant. This guy would carry a lot of the ammunition, a spare mag, or not spare mag, spare barrel, excuse me, and then everybody feeds the pig. So that kind of goes into everyone would carry like a 60 round drum mag or a 50 round for the 308, whatever it is, that would go into feeding the pig. Now, if you had the option to have an actual machine gun, a belt fed, everyone would carry some of the ammunition for it, so that when you set up your PB patrol base or an FOB or whatever it is, you have ammunition and it's not carried by one guy who has the heavy gun, but everybody helps feed the pig. Then there's a long range. Long range goes two ways. Some people, a lot of guys on the tactical side, opt for an AR-10. So they, of course, just the AR platform, but in 308, with a LPVO and a bipod or a tripod. That's a very common setup for long range, but also, this kind of goes into the sniper kind of typical, is a bolt action 308 with a scope, or LPVO, but scopes are kind of, you're going to find more. Deer hunters have them and all that stuff. The reason you want to go 308 is because you can also, out of a 308, you can also fire 7.62 by 51. Everyone kind of knows that you can fire 223 from a 5.56, but not too many people surprisingly know that 308 can also run 7.62 by 51. So that's pretty interesting. Now, a handgun, only certain people are going to need them. If you have grenadiers, your leaders are going to usually carry one. Auto riflemen, or not designated riflemen, but snipers would usually carry one for a short to mid-range. And typically, a good SOP for you is to set it as a 9mm semi-automatic, whether it's like a Glock 19, Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0, Sig 3, whatever it is, right? And that's a very good all-around. 9mm ammunition is relatively easy to find. There's a lot of people that have it. It's cheap, and it's reliable, and it's easy to source, all right? But an alternate would be a 45 ACP, a double-action revolver, or a 1911 style gun. The drawback, obviously, is you have less ammunition. However, it packs more of a punch. So if that's what you're aiming for, more punch, but also more reloads. And then we have some just side notes here, right? Not everyone needs a handgun. Your rifleman, your regular rifleman, does not need a sidearm. There is no need for him to have one. His carbine is more than enough. All right. Night vision and IR tools are phenomenal. Me and my team, we don't have the resources to use them yet. However, if you can attain them and train on them properly, they are a fantastic tool between IR lasers and illuminators, and that's what to be active illumination, and then also the passive illumination where it's you're not putting anything out there, it's just receiving everything. So that's your night vision goggles. That would be a helmet mounted, or just a bracket mounted. And all your IR illuminators and chem lights. For me and our team, thermal sights are a no-go. All right, there's no thermal going to be on the gun. Your thermal capability is either going to come from a mounted thermal or a thermal spotting scope. We do not have thermal on the guns because they are heavy, they are bulky, they take up too much space, and you only need them during the nighttime. So we do not run thermal sights, but we do run thermal imaging optics that are mounted or spotting scopes. And then there's an entirely other kind of gun, the shotgun. Shotgun, just some basics here. Every shotgun you're going to want to use for combat applications, whether it's a Mossberg or a Benelli or a Browning or a Beretta, whatever it is, you're going to want either a pump action, because you cannot beat their reliability, or a super reliable semi-auto, like a Beretta A300, or its bigger brother, the A400s, and of like that. You're going to want 12 gauge. Don't use 20. 16's too hard to find, alright? 12 gauge, there's a lot of them. There's slugs, buckshot, birdshot, shooting target loads. There's a long range. You can reload them yourself. You can load whatever you have at the time in. They're just such a versatile round to have. And the 12 gauge is about, if I remember correctly, it's around an inch. And usually you want a bigger magazine capacity. Those are tube magazines that are integrated. They're usually not interchangeable. Although some semi-automatic ones that they're coming out with have they're like an AR, but they call them like AR-12s or whatever. They're shotguns built like an AR. So they have the magazines. Usually they're like 10 rounds or so, 15 round mags. But that is what you want to do with shotguns. Now these guys are going to be drone defense. They're going to be breaching tools. They're going to be trench weapons. They're great for trenches. And maybe even like security teams would use them. So anything along that. But as for that is all I have for this video. Any questions, comments, concerns, put them down below in the comments. If you made it this far, I'll give you a bonus tip for the day. It's unrelated. You want to always have a pair of dry socks. Now, personally, I use merino wool. This is a fantastic material for sock. It's moisture wicking. It's insulating. It's great for wintertime, summertime. You always want a dry pair of socks. So you want to take care of your feet. Because if your feet are hurt, you're going to hurt. And you're going to be knocked out of the fight. So, thanks for watching. In our next segment, we're going to be talking about plate carrier setups. This is another hot topic. People love to look at the plate carriers. So, stay tuned and take care. All right. Stay fit, gents.